All right, I promised you an example of perhaps the one guy in the country who can make Donald Trump seem smart. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you Don Lemon.
On most people's minds, it's the thing that has stirred up all this controversy, and that's his comments on Mexicans and his comments on race and immigration. Here's what he said about what he believes are studies, legitimate studies, about what he says rapists coming across the border and criminals. Here's his reaction.
Oh, well, if you look at the statistics of people coming, I didn't say about Mexico, I say the illegal immigrants. You look at the statistics on rape, on crime, on everything coming in illegally into this country, they're mind-boggling. If you go to Fusion, you will see a story about 80% of the women coming in. I mean, you have to take a look at these stories. And you know who owns Fusion? Univision. And it was in the Huffington Post. I said, let me get some of these articles because I've heard some horrible things. I deal a lot of talking with people on the Border Patrols. Yeah. They're incredible people.
I want to get some.
Our country.
I want to get some.
And
I want to get some clarification,
though.
No,
but Don, all you have to do is go to Fusion and pick up the stories on rape, and it's unbelievable when you look at what's going on. So all I'm doing is telling the truth.
I read the Washington Post, I read the Fusion, I read the Huffington Post, and that's about women being raped. It's not about criminals coming across the border or entering the country.
Well, somebody's doing the raping, Don. I mean, you know, somebody's doing the. You're saying it's women being raped. Well, who's doing the raping? Mm-hmm. Who's doing the raping? Yeah. I mean, how can you say such a thing?
So he is not backing away from his comments. As a matter of fact, doubling down, and he truly believes, Wolf, that on this particular issue, even though I tried to point out that there is a distinction in the reporting that the women coming across, that's the price for them to, according to the, those news organizations reporting, that's the price of them coming into this country. It's not necessarily criminals that are coming into America.
Is that a new border policy that nobody's announced?
Well, I'll tell you something.
What the hell is he talking
Here's
about?
the thing. Here's what's clear. Don Lemon had not read those pieces before when he actually interviewed Donald Trump. He didn't. Okay? Because if he had, he would say, those rapes are taking place before they get to the border of the United States. And these are people who are being subjected to rape and crime as a price. I mean, he said it when he returned, they did the interview with Trump. Then I guess presumably Don Lemon said to himself, like, hey, I should really read those pieces. How do you say, like, what that talks about women being raped, not rapists? Well, no, it actually, I mean, the idea that Donald Trump is using really apparently no statistics as to the criminal element that comes across the border, because we know that undocumented immigrants are no more prone to crime than anybody else, or I should say prone to committing crimes. So, but good for Donald, or for Don Lemon, because we need some people out there who are going to take a beating so that Donald Trump can look good to the Republican primary voters.